Hey guys, in this video I'm going to replace the rear axle seal in a Kubota L3200 HST tractor. I've taken the bucket off the front, take some weight off of it. I took the box blade off the rear and come around back here. I've replaced the seal on this side once before. So you can see that one is still holding up good. There's no drippings or anything. You can see the housing here where it's been split and then reassembled. Okay, over on this side is our problem today. You can see it's leaking, it's dripping down the tire. Let me go down parallel to the ground, you can see there. And this side has not been opened yet. You can see it's still factory fresh there. And what we need here is, besides tools, you need UDT oil. If you have one of these tractors, you're familiar with this. You need the new seal, very inexpensive, so big job and a cheap part. And then you need some gasket sealer. You need the anaerobic style. I use the Permatex. It's the 51813. In the service manual, they give you a couple specs, a couple brands and such, but you won't find those here in the US, not easily at least. So first thing I'm going to do is take this tire off. These are filled with water, so they're very, very heavy. I'm going to put a bottle jack under there, take the weight off of it, undo the lugs, and then just roll this tire and lean it up against the front of the tractor. Okay, I've got the tire off. The DeWalt Impact had no problem with the 25mm bolts, and two of them are studs. That definitely a big help when putting the tire back on. So I just rolled it up there out of the way. I've got the bottle jack over here supporting a little bit off center. You don't want to be right on center because then the jack is lifting the whole back of the tractor. So the next step is I'm going to take off this bar here. This is part of the rollover prevention system, the ROPS. And then I'm going to take this fender off as well. When you take the fender off, just keep track of where all those bolts go. There's a bunch of them in there. So let me get that done and we'll come back and check it out. Okay, here we are with the fender and the rollover bar detached. One interesting thing to note, if you keep your bar down like I do, like that, it might be full of water. So when you tip it up, get ready for a mess. Anyways, so fender's off. Right now I have access to everything I'm going to need to get into the gear case. Basically all these bolts around here are going to come off, and then that's going to split the gear case apart to where we can get to pull this axle apart. First thing I'm going to do though is clean everything up really well. I'm going to bring the shop back over, clean up, clean the floor, wipe everything down, and basically just try to keep anything that might get into that gear case away from here. We don't want that inside. So let me get that done. I'll get this gear case split and we'll come back and take a look at it. Okay, I've got the housing detached. Here it is on the ground. Here's the tractor. So I went around, took all the bolts out, and then it didn't pop right off. So what I did is I put a floor jack under the end, gave it a little lift, and that caused a lot of the oil to dump out, which I wanted to get that out of the way. And then I just used a 4x4 post and a small sledgehammer, tapped around it, and then was able to slide this off. It's not too terribly heavy. I mean, I'm fairly strong, but average person have no problem lifting this and getting it on the ground. There is a couple studs on there too. If you're worried about it coming off, you can leave one of those nuts on there a little bit. I didn't have to do that. It was no problem. So the next steps, I'm going to take a puller, pull this bearing off. And then there's a lock nut under here. Now in the service manual that says to replace this lock nut when you service it. I don't have one and I'm not going to replace it. I think it'll be fine. And then this gear comes off, and then you can slide the axle out and replace the seal. So let me get that up on the bench, start working on it, get it apart, and we'll check in when I get that done. Okay, I've got the lock nut off. So here's what it looks like. You can see it's got this little ring, this lip here that you bend, and that gets bent into this keyway here when the nut's on there. Now this nut isn't on there super tight, but I did need a very large wrench to remove it. And you could probably use a monkey wrench or pipe wrench or something. Just be careful not to damage anything. To get it out, I have this chisel that I had previously ground down just a little bit, so it fits into that groove, and I was able to straighten that out and then bend it out of the way. A regular flat blade screwdriver would probably snap if you did that. Now, the service manual says replace this. Now, list price on this is 80 bucks for just one nut. I found it for around 65, but then you got shipping and all that too, so it's probably still gonna end up around $80. So your call. If you wanna stick by the manual, replace this nut. If not, just be careful when you remove it. Try not to cause any damage. And I don't see any reason why it can't be used again. Okay, I've got the shaft out of the housing. That gear that was just behind that nut, see, I got everything in order here, the way it goes in. The gear just lifted off. I didn't have to use a gear puller. Then these components slid out. The shaft was stuck in there a little bit, but I just put a 4x4 block on the ground, dropped the housing on it. Well, the shaft would hit, you know, pop the shaft out of the housing. That worked really good. Didn't take much force. You can see that that seal is quite a mess. So I'm gonna pop that seal out now and then clean that up and put the new seal in. Okay, the new seal is in. It was really easy to put in. It was even easier to take the old one out. Take a look at it here. This thing was actually completely rusted and disintegrated. I'm surprised it didn't leak worse than it did. So definitely time for that to be replaced. So I'm gonna put the axle back in, put these components back in, put it all back together, and then I gotta clean the mating surfaces on the housing here, and then where it bolts up to. I'll get those cleaned up nicely, and then I'll be ready to slap them back together. Okay, I've got the outer housing assembled and cleaned up. So here we've got this surface, this took longer than anything, was getting these all cleaned up, that surface, and then the surface on the main gear case there. So I'm ready to put the sealer on there, and then I will get them put together and bolted up, and we'll come take a look at that once it's done. Okay, I've got the housing bolted back on. This actually went on pretty easy. Sometimes the things I think are gonna be the hardest are actually the easiest. Basically just, I put the sealant on there, lifted this up. I set it up on the studs that are down here. There's also 2 alignment pins. And then I was able to tip it up high enough to get a bolt into the top and hold it in place. And then put bolts all the way around it, and then just spun the hub a little bit just to get the gears lined up. And then just keep going around, tighten them up. When you got it snug, tighten those studs down to 20 foot-pounds and all the rest of the bolts down to 40, and you're good to go. Next up, I'm gonna put the rollover protection frame back together, and we'll come back and check in after that. Okay, I've got the ROPS bolted back on, top and bottom. It's these 4 bolts down here. I still need to torque these up to 130 foot-pounds. I went ahead and put the fender on as well. It's not tightened up, the bolts are just barely on there. When you're doing the fender, there is a stud here, so you can use this as your starting point. You know, lift the fender up, slide it on that stud, then you rotate it around, get the other bolts lined up. So do that torquing, tighten up all these bolts. I've got to run the wire for the taillight through that hole, hook that back up. At that point, I'll be able to reattach the wheel and add some fluid and see if she's ready to go. All right, I've got the tractor back together. Putting the rear wheel on is a little bit of a job because you have to get the studs lined up. There's 2 studs and then 4 bolts. What I do is I just use the bottle jack to make sure that I'm at the right level, and then I use a little pry bar and a 4x4 post. Just rotate the tire a teeny bit at a time until it lines up, bolt it on, and you're good to go. So I'm gonna check all the tire pressures, start adding oil. Basically, if you're familiar with this, you add oil, and you watch this little sight glass down there, and go about 2/3 of the way up that sight glass, and then run the tractor for a few minutes, shut it off, let the oil settle down, double check the level, and then I'll be ready to go. So we're gonna get back to work here real soon. Hope this is helpful for someone.